How are you? It's Dr. Amuso. Today I want to talk about guidance and counseling. Exams for Zimsec, exams for Cambridge, they are going to be ending very soon. So I'm here to give advice to those Form 4s, to the upper six who are going to be finishing their O-level examination, those who were writing with the Zimsec, and also those who were writing with Cambridge. I'm here to talk about parties. I want to talk about wild parties that are done by students as soon as they finish their O and A level. I'm going to talk about party number one, which is called Vuzu Party. Vuzu Party is a party that is so common amongst students who are finishing, and some students who are still at school. In these what parties, students, learners, they will be drinking alcohol, they will be drinking beer, some will be even taking strong drugs or dangerous drugs. Some at these Vungu parties, they will be having sex, they will be having unprotected sex, and at times this sex is done with many partners. So students, learners will be sleeping around with so many partners at these Vungu parties. And we see that these Vungu parties, they are funded by these learners, and they are usually funded by these learners without the consent of their parents. They identify a site, they identify a location, and these locations usually they will be at low density suburbs where very few students will be in a position of knowing specifically what will be taking place at such parties. So, when students attend Vungu parties, they do different competitions. Competition number one, you have to sleep with multiple partners. You have to sleep with several partners. Number two, you have to take taking drugs, and what are drugs? Or you are supposed to take alcohol. You'll be taking alcohol. So they will be saying that if you sleep with many partners, you are given a nickname, you are given a name, you are called a sex master. If you take so many drugs, you are given a nickname, you are called a drug master. If you take so many bottles of alcohol, you are called a booze master. So these are the names that they give to each other at these Vuzu parties. What are the consequences? What are the results of these Vuzu parties? Number one, unwanted pregnancies. Why? It is because you'll be sleeping around with so many people. Number two, illegal abortion. Some students eventually they become pregnant, and by so doing now, they eventually abort in the event of becoming pregnant. Again, students will be exposing themselves to HIV and SITs. So sexual transmitted diseases. So because of that now, students now they will be exposing themselves to such diseases. Then we move on and talk about party number two, which is called livers parties. These parties usually they will be done outside school premises. So at these parties now, we see that they will be having alcohol, they will be having drugs, and the majority of people who will be at these livers parties, they will be girls, the girl child. And the girl child, we see that they will be exposing themselves to the so-called the blessers. The blessers would come and they will sleep around with the girls that will be at these livers parties. Activities that will be taken at these livers parties, it will be music, people dancing, people enjoying themselves, people taking drugs, And students, again, they've got risks of number one, overdose in terms of taking whatever will be taken on the livers, what are parties. You drink too much, you are now exposing yourself to drunkenness. Number two, illegal use of drugs. You'll be taking drugs which are not recommended to be taken. Number three, you also see that some youth they end up drinking whilst they'll end up driving whilst they'll be drunk. Accidents they are taking place because of this. Another what risk is that we see unsafe sex being done at these livers parties. Some youths end up fighting against themselves because of drunkenness. Violence is so common at these livers parties. Some will also end up being injured. They fall down. Why? Because of drunkenness. So my advice, Manangu, is take care of yourself. Don't be excited because you finished your O and your A level. The journey is still long. Instead, this is the beginning of life. Stick to the principles that you were taught by Mama and Daddy, which are principles remain intact. Fear God. Know that next year is coming. You will be doing a lower or upper six. For those who finished a level, you are going to the university. So prepare for that journey. Make sure that you don't mess around. Control your habits. Make sure that you don't play with friends who are in those activities. Play with people now who know where they are, what are going. Don't worry about those people who want to be too fast about life. Time is the best teacher. Take your time, just be patient. They can give you names. Some will scold at you. Don't worry about them, but know who you are and remain one. Just know that if you plan your day today, if you live right today, you enjoy your tomorrow. So, according to Dr. Moso, he's saying, say no to vuzu parties, say no to livers parties that are done outside the school, say no to sex, remain intact, and by so doing, you will enjoy life forever. Thank you so much. It's a Dr. Moso.